right, so thank you so much for joining today in the Miracle Healing Lab. And today the idea is there. It's like, how do you relate to this world? Like this world. My kingdom is not of this world, but does that mean that I'm not reacting to this world? Is this world gone? And so all of this is what we look at today, because it determines a lot of where you place yourself and also where, how you see yourself. Now we've been looking at this a lot. This is like one of the main themes that is coming back all the time, because like if you want to experience anything spiritual, you will have to give yourself a break in making this world real. And if you do that, then there's the miracle. If you think this world has power and that you value anything here, you're actually lost in that world. And this is a very, this is like a summary of the action of being in the world and making anything real. So that has consequences. And this is the part that we, not appreciate always, at least. It's like when you value something in the world, you also will encounter the laws of the world. The arm of flesh, or however Joel says, the arm of flesh. And it's more like there's a world based on opposites. There's a world like literally built up from differences, from here and there, from now and tomorrow and yesterday. So there's a time and there's a space and there's an individuality, like a person. There's a body. There's an GPS, like you are located. And that has so many consequences. Now I want to go a little bit deeper into this. I'm seeing that I'm doing that while I'm speaking. It's like the fact that you hear about this world and the unreality of this place. At the same time, you can't ignore what it does to you to see what it is. What I'm saying is this is like, if there's an intense occurrence taking place apparently because it is not real, and you're facing it, you're actually seeing it, that has an impact on how you are experiencing yourself. This is obvious. You can be touched by it. You can be shaken by it. Something can be shaken inside of you by it. Now, don't confuse that in that sense with that this world is real. But that what is triggered needed to come into your consciousness for healing, of course. So this is essential because it is not about trying to not be sensitive to what you are experiencing. Like if something has an impact on you, that is perfectly all right. It is not trying to say drop every feeling that you have about occurrences that are taking place in this illusory world, in this illusory place where you find yourself. Yes, it is your choice. Yes, it is this, and yes, it is that. There are a lot of things I can share about that, but at the same time, you can't avoid being touched by it when you are. And I mean with that too, is like you don't have to deny that. No, it's essential that you feel that. It is perfectly all right to release that, or to take time to go through it. And of course you do, because you can't avoid it. Like it would be the easiest that you keep, you take the workbook of A Course in Miracles, for instance, and use it as a shield against everything that seems to be confronting you. And yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. So this is like, okay, here I am. Whatever confronts me, I let it confront me. I'm not close up to that. I'm not trying to ignore it. I'm not trying to deny that it touches me. No, I just go through that. Now this is an essential part in the physical resurrection, in the physical, emotional, spiritual resurrection that is taking place within us. The mental resurrection. It's like all of that. Everything that is shaken within you is in a state of resurrection. In fact, has the possibility. By you being open to let that occur and not resisting it. We say like resist not evil. No, that's a biblical term, resist not evil. But that's also don't say close yourself off to what actually touches you. Don't put up a shield to protect yourself from what is confronting you. All right, so there it is. See, I thought I had to go a little deeper because of the to in fact allow yourself to be completely present in heart, in mind, in presence. See, it is being said too by many. It's like the idea of illumination is not that you don't have feelings or that you don't have, no, you have all the feelings. You don't suppress them. You allow them to be there. When you're touched and you're so sad, you will start to cry. And that is perfectly all right. Or, like this. It's like everything that is happening to you. If you feel completely discouraged, suddenly the feeling of discouragement comes up. You know it has not to do with the situation that you find yourself in, but the feeling itself is allowed to be there and be felt. The world you see, that's where it's based on, like the world you see. This is from lesson 190, by the way, but I really love this. My holy brother, think of this a while. The world you see does nothing. It has no effects at all. It merely represents your thoughts, and it will change entirely as you elect to change your mind and choose the joy of God as what you really want. So let's think about this for just a moment. My holy brother, think of this a while. The world you see does nothing. It has no effects at all. It merely represents your thoughts, and it will change entirely as you elect to change your mind and choose the joy of God instead of what you really want. So this is then a part, like the world you see does nothing. It has no effects at all. It represents your thoughts. So that's why we do the mind training, in fact. Like, the world you see does nothing. It has no effects. But if you value your thoughts, then it has an effect on your experience. Then it has an effect on you. So it's like, don't forget that that's the case. It's like the world in itself does nothing. If you forget that you're the one placing value on the occurrences, on the aspects of this world, then that comes back to you, because you literally put that in action, and now it's coming back to you. You see something, a representation of your own thoughts, and you forgot that these thoughts are coming from you. You really think that something is coming from outside. And they can be very intense. It can be, can have all kinds of form because of your thoughts about this world. Does it have an effect in reality? No, of course not. So, of course not. It's easy to say when you're out of it. When you place yourself in this world and give value to your thoughts, you are completely in that and believe that this has real effects and that it's affecting you. Now this mechanism must be explained to you like many, many times. So it's like, it is not so easy to hear that. That's why we keep repeating this. It's not so easy to hear it because you make this world real all the time and you place value in your ideas. You are personally involved in this world. You have a personal involvement. That's why, in fact, you take everything personal. And how can you not take things personal? This goes all the way. Like, this is the same with loving. If I express my total love for you, like completely wholly, I call you my dearest. What happens is, it can be, I'm not saying that it is, but it can be that you take this personal. That you think like, oh wow, yeah. Does that have to do with me? Oh wow, I actually feel pretty good about that. And then when that doesn't seem to repeat itself in that sense, it seems to be over or something, that as if it's gone. It's like, that's not the case. So the fact that it's like, this is a point here. If we all would express our love to one another unconditionally, totally, all the time, with no temptation to take any of that personal, making not any of it special, then in fact there is no possessiveness, then there's real love. So as soon as you think that belongs to you and you take it on as yours, then you really take it as something that you can possess. And possession isn't love. So that will hurt when it breaks. Like, there's nothing to hold on to. So these are very simple, basic ideas about the dynamics of relationship, but they help you a lot to become free of your tendency to possess anything or to look for specialness in that sense. So that's why it's important. So anyway, I love you totally. And don't take it too personal. The power of decision is my own. Okay. Now this is pure confrontation. Huh? This is not just, oh yeah, that's simple. Yeah, sure, of course. Like, no, this is intense, revolutionary script. No one can suffer loss unless it be his own decision. No one can suffer pain except his choice elects this state for him. No one can grieve, nor fear, nor think him sick, unless these are the outcomes that he wants. And no one dies without his own consent. Nothing occurs but represents your wish, and nothing is omitted that you choose. Here is your world, complete in all details. Here is its whole reality for you. And it is only here salvation is, if you recognize this to be true. If you recognize it, if you see it at work, you will know that this is salvation. So, like I said, you have to get over a lot of personal involvement in your situations, in your ideas about yourself. Like, this whole personality needs to be taken out of the equation in order, not your individuality, but the personality. Like, this is hardcore transformational dictate, so to speak. No one can suffer loss unless it be his own decision. No one suffers pain except his choice elects this state for him. No one can grieve, nor fear, nor think him sick, unless these are the outcomes that he wants. No one dies without his own consent. Nothing occurs but represents your wish, and nothing is omitted that you choose. Herein is your world, and complete in all details. Here is its whole reality for you, and it is only here salvation is. So that is in fact all. So the only thing you have to do here is accepting that. Completely accepting that. So it's like you need to accept that at a certain point. You will accept that, and you did accept it. So then there's no conflict. Up to the moment that you haven't accepted this, there's a conflict because you think there's a reason for the for the occurrences that are taking place. You think that there's a reason for your pain and that you have nothing to do with it. It's like completely acceptable as a human thought, of course. And so on and so on. It's like no one dies without his own consent. It's like, wow. Huh. That's really something else, isn't it? So all the things, all the occurrences that are taking place are by your decision, because the power of decision is your own. You can decide to place it outside yourself. Then that will look like that for you, but it will come back to you. So salvation comes to you when you recognize, oh my God, it's actually coming from me. It's not coming from anywhere else. So this is the mechanic behind it, the mechanics behind it. Like this is the mechanism, is the word. Like this is the mechanism in which this occurs. Everything comes back to you. Everything. There's nothing that can hurt you. There's nothing that exists that can hurt you. There's nothing that exists that you can lose. There's nothing that can die. And so on and on and on. So this is different than the world that you perceive at times. Most of the time, probably. It's like you don't see the world like that. So this is why this is revolutionary. In that sense, it's like a total confrontation to human thinking and human experience. So the thinking part is that part. So if I come into the practice of letting go of all these ideas that anything can be done to me, then I have a different experience. The same as what we said in the beginning. Like this changes as I change my mind. I change my mind by not placing value on the things that I see outside as if they could do something to me. Bring it back to myself. Like, see, yeah, this is not enough to just recognize the mechanism that is playing. That's why this is difficult for a human mind. It's like it's difficult because you think it would be sufficient to bring it back to yourself and that's it. But that's not the case. So the secret behind this then, if we talk about secrets, is like the secret behind this is that there's a total alternative experience for you. Otherwise you would think that you sacrifice all the things of this world and come back to your aloneness in this world by not taking anything personal, by bringing it all back to you, and that's it then. It's like that would be a total depression altogether. That would bring you into a deep depression because it doesn't give you a different experience at all. Like you bring everything back, but then that's not enough. What is necessary here is to come to the miracle, to have a complete alternative experience for yourself. Like literally, you want to come in touch with salvation. Salvation is an experience of your connectedness with the universe, with God, with every aspect of creation. That's why this is so important. It's like that is where you live, so to speak. That's where you live. In this world, as you see it, you cannot live. You survive. You exist, but you don't live in it as being completely perfectly happy, perfectly joyous, perfectly in connection. Like that does not happen in your human ways of thinking. So bringing everything back to yourself is one part. Then something opens up within you, and that is the complete alternative. Like literally you're entering the real world in that moment. The world that is right next to everything that you think about this world or that you value in this world that really hurts you all the time. Right next to it stands the alternative, the real world. You may believe that this position is extreme and too inclusive to be true, yet can truth have exceptions? If you have the gift of everything, can loss be real? Can pain be part of peace or grief of joy? Can fear and sickness enter in a mind where love and perfect holiness abides? Truth must be all-inclusive, if it be the truth at all. Accept no opposites and no exceptions, for to do so is to contradict the truth entirely. See, this is another, like almost like a disruption of your way of thinking, because it's like, is this position too extreme and too inclusive to be true? Then you have to wonder, does truth have exceptions? If you have the gift of everything, can loss be real? It's like, be reasonable here. Be reasonable. Can loss be real? Can pain be part of peace? Or grief of joy? Can it really be? Can those two live next to one another? Is there a duality that makes everything complete? No. So truth must be all-inclusive, if it be the truth at all. This is hardcore transformational work that we do. It's like, this is too extreme. Is this too extreme? No, of course not. If you accept this, then it's not too extreme. If you accept it, you see it at work and say like, yeah, of course, that makes total sense. Up to that point that you accept this, you learn lessons. So you feel pain and you feel loss. You experience grief and you do all these things. So this is like, all of that is not there just by accident. Everything that you feel is in that sense very important, because it tells you that something is going on. Like if you have a reference, like you have now, like you have a reference of perfect love, of the love of God, of the light and love and peace of God, you have a reference to that now. You have moments in which you experience the release of self-identity, of suddenly light entering into your mind, of feeling a relief that comes out of nowhere. So you have a reference point for that. That's why this becomes more and more acceptable. And so the frequent reminders that you allow to happen are so helpful. You have no idea. Like you have no idea how much help you need in coming to this and coming to the acceptance of this. Because everything that you see in this world contradicts what is actually true. So it will never be a support to understand what is true or to come to an experience of what is true. No, it will always show you can't trust truth. Here, look at this. Here, look at this. Here, look at this. So that goes so far. Like that's why, like you have no idea how much help you need, because this is confronting you the whole day long. As soon as you open your eyes, you're in confrontation with a place. If you take that serious, then you're lost in it. So this is how far it goes. Like unbelievable. So there are frequent reminders that we share with one another and exercise and practice here, for instance, or in any activity that we do. Like they all increase your remembrance of this perfect alternative that stands right next to everything. That's why that's so important. So like that's a total gift to yourself. And yes, you can do that by yourself. Of course, you have your workbook, or you have your books that you read, or you listen to wherever you listen to, as reminders of none of this is so. I cannot trust my ears and my eyes. No, they will not tell me anything. At least there's nothing outside myself. And I want to know what salvation is. I want to come to the freedom of my heart, in which I experience the love of God instead of pain, grief, loss, and all this sickness, pain and death. It's like that's why you need constant reminders. It is your first priority, really. If you want to get out of it, at least. It's your first priority. So that's, yeah, I've said it before, it's like total commitment to this is the easiest, because then there's no wavering. The first thing is always then to pick up something that reminds you of your true essence, instead of trying to make things work that seem to be a little bit off, trying to make it work in the world, or trying to adjust it in the world. That will never succeed. Salvation is the recognition that the truth is true and nothing else is true. This you have heard before, but not accepted both parts. Without the first, the second has no meaning. But without the second, the first no longer is true. Salvation is the recognition that truth is true. This means that nothing else is true. So the second part is a bit like more difficult to accept. Truth is true and nothing else is true. But see, that's an experience. This cannot too often be said or thought about. And that's really true. So that's why we do this. We're actually in the practice of this. Okay, I'm moving forward. Is it not strange that you believe to think you made the world you see is arrogance? This is not an easy sentence to hear. Is it not strange that you believe to think you made the world you see is arrogance? God made it not. Of this you can be sure. What can he know of the ephemeral, the sinful, the guilty, the afraid, the suffering and lonely, and the mind that lives within a body that must die? You but accuse him of insanity to think he made a world where such things seem to have reality. He is not mad. Yet only madness makes a world like this. Well, here's another total confrontation. How am I going to express that to you? Like you're prepared. That's so easy for me. You are prepared to hear this. You will have to hear it many times in order to accept this, or have totally different experience to recognize, yeah, this is true. Madness makes a world like this. Well, if you turn on your news app, read or listen to anything there, it's like, yeah, madness makes this world like that. This is too crazy what's occurring. See, the interesting part of world politics or world vision, world occurrences, is there's no solution to it. Obviously not. And what is everyone doing? Trying to solve the problem. Like, of course, that's the normal human tendency. You try to survive. You try to make it work. You try to adjust so that that can happen. So, coming back to yourself, recognizing that insanity makes a world like this is basically coming to the acceptance of, if I trust the thoughts that I'm thinking as a direction, or as like something that I need to value, that has any significance, then I'm lost in madness. I'm lost in craziness. So that's why we do the mind training, to recognize it's insanity that thinks these things. So it wasn't me. Like, in that sense, it's impersonal. It wasn't me. It was insanity that thinks those things, because I'm created whole and perfect by my Creator. There's nothing wrong with that. I only started to believe this insanity, and that brought me to a place that I call this world. And of course that is based on insanity too. So insanity is insane, that's all. The art part, the art part. And so what happened was this. It's like, since we were on Monday talking about the immersive or the participatory universe, I don't know if you remember that, like the qubits, and that's a participatory universe. Like, the universe is not just a thing that is there, so you interact with it. It's just like when you enter into the football court, I said something like this too, is like when you enter into the court, in football, tennis, whatever, you change the whole court by your presence in it, because it is not separate from you. So there's a participation in it. Like, you add something to that. You want to make things happen there. Suddenly you're in a relationship with it, and now things can happen. It will happen. Of course, like, if you bring it back to there's nothing outside myself, you determine which team is going to win to a certain degree. That if that is pure in your mind, like, it would be like that. But that sounds almost like magic. Like, don't use that for lotto or anything. But here's the thing: is like, there's a participatory universe. You participate with it. It's like your hologram, because what is the actual occurrence that I didn't include in yet is the idea that there's this is a hologram. You see reflected your thoughts, not anything else. So no matter what scenery you find yourself, that is the case. Like, you cannot dislodge your hologram from yourself as long as you keep projecting outward. So in fact, the collapse of this hologram is what awakening would be. Like, if you recognize that this is a hologram, then you don't have to make this real or project thoughts on it. Then you can go within, you could say, and come to the whole different experience of your inner being, the reality of who you are. You can say, like, you enter straight into the real world. So that's why this is so interesting to me, the participatory universe. Now, an art that has been used a lot, like, I've seen so many immersive artworks where you literally enter into a room, suddenly you're surrounded completely by all the projections, really literally projections, that are beamed up against the walls or mirrored, or however it works. Like, it is like a hall of mirrors, basically, that you see. So it looks endless, and you can walk around in it, and you can, by you standing in a certain spot, you say distort the signal, and suddenly the whole room looks different because of your presence. Now, that's of course fun to do that. And so we have some examples of that, and some connection to the this is very short, so that's why I don't want to go too deep into it, but I just want to show you some of this as inspiration, that's all. Immersive interactive art. So the artwork is incomplete without the viewer. Your movement, your gaze, or your choices trigger the centers or the narrative. You are not looking at a painting, you are inside the engine of the art. When you stand in an immersive installation like Illusion or VR, virtual reality, you put on glasses, which you can have that reflected. The environment responds to your heartbeat or touch. This is an objectified metaphor for the spiritual and physical claims. And here they are. Like spiritually, as shared in A Course in Miracles, the world is a mirror. If you choose fear, you see a world of attack. If you choose love, you see a world of grace. And in Cubism, the participatory universe, there is no view from nowhere. Every piece of data you receive is the result of an action you took.